Hello, welcome to Continuous Edge. I am your host, Brian Tamulonis. Today we present an installment of As the Compost Turns. Well folks, as you can see, we've gotten a little behind in our composting pile. Sometimes there ain't nothing for it but to do it. The first thing we're going to do is identify which bundles are full of dried up sticks. We're going to separate those away from the softer leaves. The sticks will actually be chipped and shredded for mulch. I don't even know what to say. It's completely unacceptable. Someone's going to get fired. We are clearing bin 3 for the finished compost that we will shortly be forking over from bin 2. Oh, it's dry. It's dry. We are going to have to wet this down for sure. Once bin 3 is cleared, it's time to take down the wooden barriers. When one neglects a compost pile, weeds will often begin to grow from seeds blown in on the wind. Yellow jewelweed is less common than orange jewelweed, but it is still a weed in our compost pile. The near-finished compost in bin 2 is so dry that using a pitchfork to turn it is ineffectual. For compost to decompose effectively, moisture must be present in the material. Here, we are simply hosing it in and then turning the pile again. You can see how dry the compost is. If your compost gets this dry, you may have to soak it several times, turning it over in between hosings. Appears we've got ourselves a little nest of some kind here, right in the compost pile, not exactly where we wanted it. Sometimes members of the Hymenoptera family can adapt to human interference, and it would only be as a very last resort that we would spray those. We don't want to spray them. Sometimes they don't leave any choice. The show must go on and compost must be made. Alright, we're down to the last corner in the compost pile where the yellow jackets are. We've been just going very carefully, very slow. I've been told that if you work very slowly around them, they will adapt quite readily to human presence. I had no idea they would adapt so readily that I could actually remove an entire bin of compost without being attacked. We do have to get that last corner out. We'll see how that goes. Nice and slow and gentle. They're definitely animated in there. You know, if we come and we drop this down, like that. That wasn't too bad. Got some attacking the shovel here. And there's some critters flying in there. I'm going to give them a few minutes to settle down before we go in for the rest. Ta-da, look at that. Right in the corner there. Look at it. Beautiful. Well, with these yellow jackets here, we had to work a little slower. We had to work a little calmer, but we were able to do it. We were able to clear the compost bin. With our old sideboards back in place, we can turn the compost from bin 1 into bin 2. Break that off. Throw it over there. Oh, break that off. Look at that. Yummy. Yum, 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 yum. Just look at these layers. This looks like a geological formation, doesn't it? Like some kind of crazy Oreo cookie dessert, isn't it? This one here is a layer of ash. We burned wood in our wood stove inside. This is a layer of eggshells. We compost in our house and we do the eggshells separately. Crush up the eggshells and then dump them as evenly as we can over the tops of the pile. So this must have been the fall, the autumn. Did a little cleanup early winter. We did get some good snow. We had some good snow this year. Here's some more ashes. Dumping out those buckets. We are dumping those buckets about once a week. Way down here, this is the original pile, and I started the pile with composted wood chips. Look at that. Break that up as we throw. Put it here. More. It's July 25th in Massachusetts. It rained all day yesterday, all morning this morning. It is overcast and gray, and I'm wearing a wool cap and a long sleeve shirt because it's July in Massachusetts. And then we're just gonna come through and we're gonna fork it through a little bit. Okay, we're just gonna drag that fork through. We're gonna break up any bigger chunks. We're gonna spread some more things out like that. And that's how we break up these chunks. We can go up to, at this moment, right here at that edge. That's the highest we can stack at that edge. Just look at bin 2. Look at it. Ooh, man. Boom. With very little ceremony, bin 1 is once again filled with raw organic material. So between the first yellow jacket nest over in this corner and the second yellow jacket nest here, we got stung once. We did get stung. I don't think the camera was on when it happened, but we got stung once when we first discovered this nest here. I did remove the second nest of yellow jackets this morning at 7 a.m. I picked the bag up and I walked it about 8 feet over there and I dropped it into place. The yellow jackets did in fact come out, but I was not stung. We didn't have to kill anything. The project took many hours longer than we anticipated it would, but we didn't have to kill. Whoo-wee! Smell that nitrogen. Yummy. It's like being on a farm. Oh, this is lovely. Wonderful. Look at, oh, what a scent. We have a hungry compost pile. I just love eating all this debris. Big pile over here, pile over here, pile over there behind it. And then look at all those wood chips. I wanted to see if I could capture this in the compost pile here. There's steam rising out of it. Can we see that? Can you see that steam? Can you catch that? That little ghost? In fact, so much heat and moisture are escaping that this spider web is covered in droplets of water.
Thank you for watching as the compost turns.